right, so we're back with was this day 17? Day 17 of learning how to draw. This was technically recorded yesterday, like the actual drawing was recorded yesterday, but it was at like I was finished at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, dude, I don't upload this stuff, like this isn't gonna do well. And now here I am at midnight recording this. Just because I was like, man, I can't skip uploading like 2 days in a row. But that last video did pretty good. I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, like we kind of killed it on that last one. I'm not gonna lie. All right, that one was pretty fire. 31 views, which was just saying, we're moving up there. All right, Mr. Beast. Yeah, watch out, buddy. Watch out. Um, but yeah, no. So that was super cool just to see that. Just to see that happen. It's very interesting. But yeah, no. In terms of this drawing, um, now that we've kind of gotten through the sketching phase, I was really thinking of the scene of Omni Man, when he's like getting sucked into the black hole, like obviously, right? Um, but it was very weird trying to get his facial structure down. Um, but I think what I learned specifically today, or like during this recording, is that before, because I think I tried to draw everything else like all at the same time, and I think what I need to do is I need to draw like the jaw first, and then like shape everything around that, right? I think I really need to try to focus on getting the head correct before I do anything else. Just because I think it really comes, I think it very much comes into a lot of confusion here, where I just keep trying to redraw and redraw and redraw and redraw. It's like, you know, like at some point it does kind of get to taking up so much time that I kind of wish I could have spent elsewhere on the drawing. Um, but yeah, no, I mean it was still very very interesting and super fun. Yeah, but you can see this just struggle bus. Trying to, because I was originally going with like his longer hair design that he actually has during the scene, but then I did kind of go back to his more clean shaven look. Um, Later in it, because the issue is his head was going too far out comparatively to where it should be, and his nose was misshapen. So that was the problem with the original drawing. You can see here the with the nose being a little bit better, and I think with the simplification that his second form takes on, it's definitely helped out. And then you can see here I was resketching the body proportions like a gazillion times over. Just because I didn't know if I wanted to have it have that like distortion effect of getting sucked into a black hole. Because originally I thought it was gonna be below him, but then I was like, how do I draw that like realistically? Mostly because oddly enough, there's not a lot of videos of or references of people getting spaghettified on the internet. So I don't know. It was just ended up being a lot more, juice wasn't worth the squeeze kind of thing. Because you can see here, I'm trying to like distort the image downwards to show that he's getting like sucked in. And I mean, maybe if I was better at drawing, if I'm being 100% honest, like maybe I could have figured it out, but I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean, you we should be getting to the sketching phase pretty soon here, or at least to the end of this kind of original sketching phase, because I did end up going and redoing the design afterwards, which I mean was of course something that was um it sucks having to go back to sketching afterwards, but it's just something you got to do. So here, we're drawing the black hole behind it. I was trying to go between doing sketchy lines and doing just like actual geometry, like trying to see which one was better. Um, but I ended up going with just more sketchy lines. I think it fit the art style a bit better. But I really liked how this black hole turned out. Like this, um, just the way that it ended up in the final product was very satisfying. I think this definitely shows how far I've come along in terms of like color. Because you can see here even in the start, I'm kind of struggling to make it look good, right? And what I really like about it is at least the way that I did shade it in the end. Um, it came to look a lot like it came to look a lot like an eye looking at him, which I really like that. I'd say almost that like symbolism of him like feeling like he's being watched, like feeling like there is, like there's somebody watching him. Because he's obviously like, there's in this scene there's a lot of stuff weighing on him, so I think that really it communicates the same ideas as in the scene. Um, because the way at least I interpreted it as an artist was that he is almost given up in a sense, right? And so he is already kind of on the verge of it. And so I think having that this idea of somebody like watching him in his lowest moments, like feeling like all eyes are on him. I think that there's probably some artsy fartsy shit that you could say about that. But yeah, no. So I did end up going back and forth on how exactly to design this. But again, the black hole, I think definitely it's pretty peak. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so then we're getting to coloring the Omni Man. I really like Omni Man's design. It's very simple. It's very basic. It's very easy to draw, which is normally an insult. I mean, if somebody says that you're easy to draw, I would say that's you know, I mean, that's whatever. But yeah, no, this was still fairly fun to draw him, and you can see I'm just kind of rearranging the anatomy and reshifting it and shaping it and doing all that stuff. I use Control Z a lot when I'm drawing. Just because it's like I mean, because like the way I have it set up is that like my keyboard's right above where my other hand is placed. Because I have one hand drawing and then one hand's just kind of laying on my desk, on like my left hand, and so I just have that on Control Z at all times. And so sometimes I'll press Control and then it'll switch to another color. Which I mean, it's annoying, but it doesn't like end up affecting too much. You can see here I'm trying to get his boobs just right. Um, because again, going back to the sketching phase once you already have other stuff is kind of annoying. But yeah, I think I did good enough. Good enough. You can see here I didn't originally like the final like way that it looks in the final drawing is not how it looks right now. Um, right now it looks much more, I guess, clean, very like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It looks much more like my other art, but as I got to shading it here with a lot of these grays and a lot of these, other other colors, I think I did kind of see because it was getting mixed up. I was getting mixed up on which, like was I on this layer, that layer, this layer, that layer. So I think getting mixed up on that really helped the final product end up looking the right way. You can see here, there's just a bunch of white around his face because I couldn't use the eraser tool because then it would be black behind him. So yeah, so I'm just coloring in, coloring in. Um, again, I think if I came up with the idea of doing this like almost like cast shadowy kind of look a little earlier, then I think I could have developed it a little bit better. Um, I wish I had put a little more contrast on like the gloves and the bottom, like made the cape pop out a little bit more. But that's just more of a nitpick kind of thing. You can see here I'm fiddling with the background still, just because I don't know, it's just such a key point. And then I saw this, and I was on call with my girlfriend at the time, and I thought this looked so cool. It just looked so like it felt so like complete, that like this he's just so like ashamed of himself. And so I thought that this just looked very cool. This just looked very, very intense. I don't know exactly. I don't know. I don't really know how to do this kind of an art style. But I think it definitely does look very, very interesting. It looks very, very, very. I don't know. I guess it really feels like the scene. Like he's just ashamed and kind of like he's given up, right? And so I think this very much it feels very much like that. And I think in the thumbnail, because I did end up going in with like a blending tool when I was making that and just kind of sharpening out some of the stuff just because you can see there's little bits and bobs of red still within the picture, which is, I mean, it's a little annoying. But overall, I did really like this drawing. It was just super fun to do. It just took a while. I'm again sorry for not uploading yesterday. I just because I had the video done, but it was so late at night that I was like, screw it. Right. Yeah, no, thank y'all for watching. This was super fun to draw. I will have again video out tomorrow. I try to get at least like 6 videos out every week, just because that's typically it. Just I don't know, that feels like a good amount of content to be making. So again, if you have any ideas for me to draw, any other scenes you want me to recreate, anything like that, just type it in the comments below. Again, thank y'all for all the engagement on the last video. That was super cool. Um, and yeah, no, I will see y'all again for day 18. Yeah.